Introduction in Malaysian Education Policy is the teaching of science and mathematics in English, PPSMI, pengajaran dan pembelajaran sains dan matematik dalam bahasa Inggeris. This is originally begun in 2003 under Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, whose aim to increase students' English language skills and boost their ability to compete globally. This is based on the awareness that English is an essential element for gaining access to international academic resources and economic prospects, since most of the scientific and mathematical knowledge is communicated in this language. However, PPSMI's usage face significant challenge, which is critics say that the program negatively impacts disadvantaged pupils in rural areas with lower English proficiency and overwhelmed teachers who were unprepared to teach these topics in foreign language. To overcome this problem, the Ministry of Education (MOE) creates support measures including educational programs for teachers, supplemental learning resources, and rewards for schools that effectively implement their policy. To overcome this issue, the government replaced PPSMI in 2012 with the Upholding the Malay Language and Strengthening the English Language (MMBI) initiative, which prioritized bilanguage education. Nonetheless, argument about the language of instruction for mathematics and science continue, highlighting continuous contradiction between globalization and national identity. Based on our report, the purpose is to investigate how the Ministry of Education deal with the issues of PPSMI, which the tactics it implemented to support students and teachers, and the policies change that follow.
The planning done for managing the problems by the Ministry of Education is opening new classes beginning with Year 1 students in primary school and Form 1 in secondary school. Classes can be opened if the numbers of students is approved to follow a class that implements the DLP, achieve at least 50 people or more. The school should continue the DLP program until the student finish schooling in Year 6 for the school primary and Level 5 for secondary school for each cohort, even though the number of students in the selection is less of 50 people. Opening classes that implements the DLP can affect the opportunity of other students to follow the subject science and mathematics in the national language or mother tongue as the medium of instruction. Furthermore, schools that are implementing the DLP should position to the division or JPN in case of application to follow a class that implements the DLP does not meet item 6.1b, or if there is no application at all of the following year. The school must reapply to implement the DLP in the event of a request from the parents who fulfill 6.19b for the following year. Next, the teacher selection criteria are based on the subjects such as science, additional science, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and additional mathematics. However, the identified teacher must be capable of teaching science subject and/or mathematics in English, and should confirmed by the principal or headmaster by taking calculate SPM English achievement at least lack of honors or equivalent. Also, the ministry should provide curriculum documents and textbook. The material provided in English is as follows: the following curriculum and assessment standard document, the SKP, classroom assessment reporting form, and textbook. Besides, examination is important, and all examination include school exam, ujian penilaian sekolah rendah UPSR, pentaksiran tingkatan 3 PT3, and sijil pelajaran Malaysia SPM for subject science and mathematics for the LP classes should be prepared and applied in bilingual. Afterward, the short-term plan for managing issue of teaching mathematics and science in English is the teacher should go for a training and professional development. For instance, holding seminars and training courses to help teachers become more fluent in English, especially in technical vocabulary related to mathematics and science. Other than that, supplying teachers with instant resources such as English teaching aids, digital tools, and textbook. Next, language supports for students. This is to offer language supports programs for students who may struggle with English by giving them an extra class. Also, providing additional tutoring or after-school activities to help students in developing their language skills in addition to their academic knowledge. Finally, monitoring and evaluations by establishing a system to monitor the progress of teaching mathematics and science in English, including regular assessments of both teacher performance, students' comprehension. Besides that, there is a long-term plan such as maintain teacher training by developing ongoing professional development programs for teachers, ensuring they stay updated on best practices for teaching in English. At the same time, the government can create a system for teacher certification or qualification specific to teaching mathematics and science in English. Moreover, governments can invest educational resources, for example, allocating funds to digital platforms and technologies that enhance bilingual learning, such as interactive apps, online tutorials, and e-books. Guarantee a steady availability of high-quality educational materials that effectively bridge the gap between English language proficiency and subject-specific knowledge. Lastly, setting national language proficiency standards for both teachers and students to ensure they achieve the necessary level of English competence, encouraging schools to adopt language immersion strategies that strengthen both language skills and subject knowledge. Other duties and responsibilities that need to be carried out by all parties involved. One of the parties involved is JPN. Their duty are conduct information sessions about DLP to PPD and interested schools, checking and verifying school readiness before supporting school application based on school participation criteria. Next, report monitoring findings to DLP Secretariat Ministry of Education. For example, present monitoring findings and recommendation improvement to JPN management and ensure improvements action implemented based on monitoring findings. In addition, PPD is also one of the parties that involved. PPD responsible in ensure the number of teachers who teach the class implement enough in each school involved. Other than that, PPD ensures sufficient supply of textbook in the district. Moreover, ensuring the implementation of DLP in school follows long-term and short-term planning. Lastly, teachers who teach classes that apply DLP must using the English version of the SKP. Also, prepare rancangan pelajaran harian RPH and rancangan pelajaran tahunan RPT for science and mathematics subject for classes that apply DLP. Objective of DLP is to give opportunity to improve English proficiency students through teaching and learning subjects, science and mathematics.
Organizing. So what is organizing? Organizing is a process of coordinating tasks, goals, and activities to resource. So now let's take a look at the importance of organizing from Ministry of Education. Firstly, it helps the Ministry of Education MOE create clear structures within the education system. Moreover, it may quickly adjust to these changes by making sure that pertinent resources. Last but not least, it allows the MOE to create efficient communication channels. So here are the concepts of organizing. Firstly, it includes the distribution and management of financial, human, and technological resources to fulfill the requirements of schools and students. Furthermore, it enables the MOE to ensure that resources are allocated to the appropriate areas, educational standards are upheld, and a systematic framework is in place for monitoring and assessing educational performance. Last but not least, it highlights the importance of flexibility as it enabling the Ministry to adjust to new challenges. Flexibility is crucial for the Ministry of Education MOE when managing the transition to teaching mathematics and science in English because these policies introduce numerous challenges such as language barriers, diverse students' needs, and varying levels of teachers' proficiency. By adopting a flexible approach, the MOE can quickly adapt to these emerging challenges, adjust strategies as necessary, and ensure the program is continuously improved based on real-time feedback from schools, teachers, and students. This dynamic approach allows the Ministry to address unforeseen issues and make necessary adjustment without disrupting the overall educational goals. For instance, as the program is implemented, the MOE may discover that the existing curriculum or textbook are too advanced or not suitable for students who are still developing their English skill. In response, the MOE could adopt a flexible approach by revising the curriculum to make the content more accessible, introducing simplified language version of textbook, or offering supplementary materials.
Decision making. Definitions from two prominent public figures or scholars. Firstly, from Woodrow Wilson on 1887. In his opinion, public administration is centered on decision making. This means that public administrators develop policies aligning with governance objectives. Secondly, we have opinion from Herbert A. Simon on 1960. According to him, decision making is depicted or portrayed in three layers. Firstly, bottom, which is the fundamental work procedures. Secondly, middle, which is automated decision making for daily operations. And lastly, top, or non-program decisions for system design, goals, and performance monitoring. SMI 2003, which is the teaching of mathematics and science and English. It is introduced by Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad for the purpose of teaching mathematics and science and English to improve students' proficiency in the subject. Its aim is to prepare students for higher education and workforce. However, there are some issues faced by this policy. Firstly, linguistic difficulties and performance gap between the urban and rural students. In 2012, at that time, Prime Minister Najib Razak reversed the policy due to concerns regarding educational inequality, especially coming from students from non-English speaking homes. Program in 2016. The purpose of this introduction is to allow flexibility in which students in selected schools can choose to study mathematics and science in English, while the majority remain taught in Bahasa Malaysia. Nonetheless, there are some challenges that come with the implementation of this policy. Firstly, teachers in areas like Samarahan struggle with teaching complex subjects due to limited English proficiency. Secondly, there is a lack of teacher preparedness in English instruction.
I will continue with controlling. The meaning of controlling is directing, regulating, or managing action procedure or outcome to ensure they align with specific aims or objectives. So the ministry made some controlling in teaching maths and science in English, such as in 2003, Malaysia reintroduced English as the medium for teaching science and mathematics to align with global advancement, presenting challenges in adapting to the language switch. Malaysia takes some information from Pakistani primary school that reveal low information literacy IL skills among students, except for those from elite economic backgrounds, prompting the need for NIL curriculum framework to enhance critical skills like recall and organized writing. Next, the effective of teaching of science and mathematics in English requires teachers to develop strong language skills and adopt scaffolding techniques, as over-reliance on the first language or direct translation undermines the purpose of English medium instruction. Lastly, science and math teachers support the shift to English medium instruction but emphasize the urgent need for improved language support system to address both their own and their students' language challenges.
mathematics and science in English has advantage and disadvantage. Among the benefits of learning mathematics and science in English, students can master an international language. Unfortunately, students and teachers feel overwhelmed when the system change. To sum up, there are few ways to improve system language, such as encourage active use of English, which practice speaks English regularly. For example, find language exchange partners or use app where you can converse with native or fluent speakers. Teachers training and professional development. For example, workshop and seminars. This is purpose to focus on specific areas such as new teaching methods, technology integration, classroom management, or assessment techniques.